Firefighter Fire and Rescue. Welcome to our second installment of Fire Truck Fridays. Today we're going to be going over our Rescue 121. It's a 2019 E1 Typhoon chassis with a stainless steel body. The reason we went with the stainless steel body on this one is due to the fact that it's going to easily be able to outlive the chassis 2 or 3 times. So follow me, we're going to start going through the compartments and show you what we all got. Down here, as you can see, we just have safety pylon, some slow and stop signs, as well as some barricade tape. And these are emergency scene ahead signs that we can put up a mile or 2 ahead of a scene if it's a bad accident on the highway, just to warn people that there's something coming up. Now these are our rescue jaws compartment. You can see in here we have pair of spreaders, or 2 sets of spreaders, as well as in the back we have some extra jerry cans for powering items like our chainsaws and our K12. Those items down here, as we always, chainsaw, K12 unit, which we use for cutting anything from steel to cement, just spare blades, chainsaw oil and fuel. Notice up here we do have electrical cords, so that at a scene, if we need to run power anywhere for lights or anything like that, we can take this, run it up to the scene, and power up whatever we need to power up. On these compartments, these are complete full pass-through. So these top 2 slides go from one side of the truck all the way to the other side of the truck. That way we can access them from either side. Slide out 75% of the way. And on here we have a lot of our hand tools for any rescue, whether it be for vehicles, whether we need them just even at a house fire, help get in, gain access. We have typical bolt cutters, axe, we have a sledge down here. We have a little combo of pry and sledge. We have Halligan, smaller bolt cutters, pickaxe, another sledge axe combo, pry bar, and another special pry. On our second pullout, we have wheel chocks for the truck. So in case, if we're parking on a bit of a slope, we can use these to make sure we stay in spot, as well as some scene lights. On the other side of this one, we have fire extinguisher, some rope, as well as a winch tool. Now this winch, we can hook up. We have 6 spots all around the truck that we can actually attach this winch into, so we can use it to winch from just about at any angle on any side of the truck. Here we have a little forceful entry tool. This we can use to help break into any locked doors that we may come across. If we can't break them open or just bust them down, we can actually use this to help get the door open so we can actually get in. Right here we have our Rescue 42 strut system. These are used for at vehicle accidents to help stabilize vehicles. They can support an awful lot of weight. It depends your weight rating as to what kind of angle you need to use to actually set them up. As well as we have a low angle safety point. We can use this if we are needing to pull someone up the side of a little bit of a hill or anything like that. We can actually drive this into the ground and use it as an anchor point to tie off on. Up here, we have our spare SCBA bottles. So you'll see this truck, although it does not carry any water, it is a big people mover for us, and it's also a respite spot for us. So at a big house fire or a big fire scene, it's great because we have a lot of extra tanks on here, as well as we have other things to help keep us safe, to help us recover and recuperate from any scenes. We also do have 2 spots on either side of the truck for other spare tanks. As well as this compartment, we have the controls for our light mast. Our light mast, we can use this as scene lighting. It lifts up above the cab. It can turn 360 degrees. We can angle it down or angle it up, light up a scene in the middle of the night. We also can use this unit as an incident command center, so it is equipped with the flashing green light on top to signify that it's an incident command location. We also have some safety flares in here, as well as the whole breaker panel for the entire truck. Back here, you'll see we have another electrical source. We also have an air source from the air compressor. That way we do have a chisel we can use, and we can also use it for our airbags, which we will look at later on. Down below that, we just have some tarps, as well as our anhydrous response kits. Being in an agricultural area, it helps us a lot to have this, just in case if there is a big spill. We have guys specially trained who can don them and go out and help mitigate the situation. Down below, we also have an electric positive pressure fan that we'll use at any scene. We can use that for anhydrous. We can also use this strictly at house fires to help push fresh air into the house to try and get any smoke out and clean it up for us. And here we have a chute which has absorbent material in it. There's a hopper up top, which we'll see later on, which connects to here, so that we can spread things just like floor dry or cat litter, anything that we can actually use to help dry any materials that might have been spread at a vehicle accident. In the back, looks like we have a portable or a collapsible stretcher back there as well. This one is this truck is equipped with most of our stretchers, collapsibles, or KEDs, SCED. It's also got the Stokes basket. Back here, we just have up top, just have some of the head blocks for our backboards, first aid kit, as well as some straps. Down below that, we're getting into just the batteries for any of our just for our hand tools. And these are also the batteries for our battery operated jaws, which are on a different truck. The first truck that you actually saw, these are just some more of the spare batteries that we keep charged up on here. We have a little paramedic kit, or a little first aid kit kind of thing. This one comes with a bit more than typical first aid kit. Like, we have our neck braces, we have stethoscopes, we have gauze, a bit more than what you typically have in your standard first aid kit. Down below, we have straps for backboards, as well as a spare oxygen bottle. We do have a system coming up right here, you'll see, where if we need to administer oxygen, we can actually administer oxygen. And on this piece right here, what we have is our KEDs and the SCED, looks like. Now up top here, this is our oxygen bottle system. So if we need to administer oxygen, we can use that. More bags with straps for backboards, spare neck braces, with some duct tape. Down here we have a couple small packs. They're great to take if we're being in the area that we are. We do have a lake and some trails around it. These are nice little first aid kits to be able to easily haul around with us. We have just some spare bandages, some Vicks Vapor Rub, ice packs, emergency safety blankets, as well as other medical supplies in the back. These drawers is our toolbox, where a lot of our handheld tools are held. Things like, our power tools or drills, or even other things like just hacksaws, a little sledge. On this side, you can see we have 2 more of those compartments which hold the SCBA bottles like they did on the first side. And in this compartment, On the top one we have what is our hazardous waste compartment, where we have absorbent pillows, usually absorbent socks. We have suits we can put on, just like little Tyvek suits. We have plug kits so that if there's, you know, a big semi that's got a big leak into one of its compartments, we can actually put that in there and actually try and help stop the leak. Down below that, this is our low angle rescue shelf, where we keep all of our rope, as well as carabiners, prussics. We have harnesses, so this helps us for if we are, like I said, any low angle situation, whether it be at our lake or we're right close to the valley, even down the valley. Sometimes it's a steep enough hill that just walking up and down it isn't quite safe enough, so we can all use this to tie off and be as safe as possible trying to retrieve a victim. This is the other side of that pass-through compartment. So these do slide out this way, 75% of the way as well. Down here, we have other parts for our Rescue 42 strut system. Extra bases. We have bases for ice. We have chains. We have ratchet straps. All the tools we need to actually be able to properly hook it up. We have chains to hook it up with. We also have sidewinders, which is kind of like a car jack, just a little fancier version and specifically designed for fire and rescue. This is the other side of the very first, or the second part we went through, where there was some of the jaws of life, or the rescue tools. On this side we have our ram, as well as our cutters, and another power source in here. Down below that we have water. Something that we go through a lot of at fire scenes, because it doesn't take much to get overheated when you're wearing your full turnout gear. We also have a plug-in Sawzall, as well as a cordless Sawzall. Now, this is very similar to the very first compartment we went through, where we have our emergency scene ahead sign, stop slow signs, and some barricade tape. Up here we have what we call low angle anchor point. These are rated for 10,000 pounds. It's going to be definitely enough for us to be able to pull anyone up any slope that we have to come in contact or that we deal with in our geographical area. Now in this compartment, as you see, we have our control for our awning. We went with that just as a simple safety and respite area for us at scenes, as well as it could be even victims or anything like that as we're working on a scene. Comes out on the curb side. It's a 10-foot awning. When it's fully extended, it has about 6.5-foot clearance. You control it. It is designed that it has an automatic sensor on it, so that if it's too windy, it will automatically retract and go in for safety, as well as it does have remote control, so we can control it from different spots on the truck. Okay, now we're on the back of our compartment. As you can see, we have steps on this one. Our old rescue, we had a walk-in rescue. This one we decided to go with walk-around, just for more storage. Steps give us easy access to get up top to our coffin compartments, which we will be going through shortly. We'll start off on the back here. Right down here is just extra storage for some backboard straps, as well as a little heater. Getting that does get pretty cold here in the wintertime sometimes. We're at a house fire or even a vehicle accident where people have been displaced and they aren't able to stay in either in their vehicle or their house. So we'll put them into the cab of the vehicle and put as much heat in there as possible, just trying to help keep them warm. Above that, we have our decon tents. So this is for any hazardous material situation that we go to. If we have guys who are going in, getting close into the hot zone, we use these, we set them up, and we can use these year round, so that when we come out, we can get hosed off, properly deconned, and do it in the comfort of a tent. You can also use a little heater there that I showed you before to try and heat these, so that if it's something in the middle of winter time, we aren't really freezing, because we'll be dressed down to just jeans and a t-shirt. As we go up the steps in here, we have our Stokes basket. Kind of mentioned this before. We use this a lot for any rescues where it's going to be, especially coming up hills or down hills or anything like that, where carrying a backboard or just sliding a backboard isn't the safest. This way we can actually put the backboard right inside the Stokes basket if we need to, strap them in, and then it helps keep the patient a lot more protected, and it makes it a lot easier actually for us to carry them up. Above that we have our 3 backboards that we keep on the truck at all times. And then above that, I'll grab here, is the ladder storage. Let's see, it's just got an attic ladder as well as a roof ladder. Okay, now coming up top here, we have our coffin compartments. Our first compartment here, as you can see, we have pylons as well as the bases and some extra cribbing for vehicle accidents. The pylons and the bases we just use set up so we can direct traffic as usual. Over here you'll see this is that hopper compartment I talked about for our absorbent material. Just take and fill it up from here. Much easier to fill it up. It holds a lot, so that way you can take care of big scenes. Now here we have our crib packs. It's something that we've set up so that if you grab one of these, instead of just trying to grab some 4x4s, some 2x4s, some wedges, pieces like that, you grab one of these, you're set up with a bunch of 4x4s, a bunch of 2x4s, and a couple wedges on each one. If you grab one of these, you should easily be able to do the side of a vehicle, or if not, at least one wheel out of a vehicle. Beside that, we have our airbag system, which we can use to lift fairly heavy weights. We can hook this up to either an SCBA bottle through our manifold or through the air compressor system that's on board. This compartment, we have our main power pack for our hydraulic jaws on the truck. We put it up here for a couple reasons. One, it's going to keep any of the exhaust as well as the noise out of the scene and keep everything a little bit more calm in the scene, as well as it's very easy access here. It just takes one guy to run up here, start it, and you can start throwing the switches so that we start getting power to all the tools. On the other side here we have our, after our decon, we use these. They're just containers with shoes and with coveralls in them. Just stuff so that we have something to kind of put on to help kind of keep warm, also just kind of keep us safe, keep us out of the elements. In this compartment we have blankets as well as some stuffed animals, and just put most of our, or 2 of our trucks, mainly ones that go to any rescue situations, we always have stuffed animals on hand. We've just noticed if there's kids involved, it sometimes makes a big difference. If we can just give them a little something like this, it helps calm them down, keeps the situation a little easier to deal with. Underneath here, more blankets. And then we start getting into our high angle rescue packs. We do have a select group of guys who are all trained on high angle rescue, and each of them have their own pack set up for them, as well as their rescue rope. See, on this one it says roof edge rollers and edge protections, extra pieces. All the guys usually have some stuff in their kits. This is just extra so that any of the other guys who are at the scene helping out can use these. So if we have to lower someone off the edge of a building, like off the roof of a building, we have the edge protection is the roof roller, so we can let the hose or let the rope down, and you don't have to worry about anything happening to the ropes because it's rolling on an actual roller. It's not going over top of just the sharp edge of a roof. Now in this compartment we have our water rescue equipment, as well as some more high angle rescue packs. We do have a group that have been specifically trained for water rescue as well. which we do have a little Zodiac boat that we can use if needed. Just having a lake nearby, as well as a lot of creeks, it's quite beneficial in case we have to go out there and pull someone off the ice or pull someone out of the water. Something I did forget to mention, the compartment directly below this one, which has a lot of our hand tools in it, is heated, as well as that heat is in here as well. So that way this stuff is never cold, even in the middle of winter time, because we've had times going out, people stuck on ice, and the guys don't want to be jumping into an ice cold suit. So this compartment is heated, which will keep these suits warm, so at least as the guys have to get dressed, it's not a big shock to the system. Now we're in the back of our 121 rescue. Back here, we carry 6 members, and we'll start going through the compartments right away. Up top here, we carry flashlights, nitrile gloves, we have some socks, hats, wipes for at scenes we can clean off, try and get any contaminants off of us. We have dust masks, bug spray, extra batteries, razors in case it's at a big house fire and people haven't shaved in a while. We also back there do have power plugs so that we can plug in systems up there if we need to have them stored up here. Our second one is where we're using most of the power we have set up here. We got our 3 bigger flashlights as well as our 6 bank of radios. Down here is where 4 of our members can sit. As you can see, each one has its own SCBA installed in it. As well as above, we have these special harnesses which are designed so that when you're traveling to a scene, you can grab this, flip it up, keeps your helmet up out of the way, keeps it safe, keeps it from rolling around on the floor. Okay, back here you see our bench. It's designed, it's big enough that if we have someone needed to, when they're on a backboard or even not, we can come lay a person in here just as a safe place for them to be during the scene. All of our, like I said before, all of our harnesses are built into the seats. And as you can see, they're designed so that we can tank up relatively quickly and get this set so that when we get to a scene we can just easily jump out. Also, this truck, you have a safety feature on it where if you are, any of the seats have someone sitting in it, it'll automatically sense if there's weight in there and if they aren't buckled up. So this one's the way it's designed, we can easily get tanked up, buckle up, so when we get to a scene, all you have to do, lean forward, and then you're ready to go. Okay, now on this side, back compartment, we have our desk set up for when it's a command post. It's simple enough design. Pull it out. That way you can be sitting on this back bench. You can actually have a writing surface. That way when we also have our USB chargers or plugs there, we can have laptops or any equipment that needs to be powered running. You can work on the surface. It's designed so that if we have a big map, like if it's of a park or anything like that, we can put it underneath here. Just slap this down this way. Also too, if we need to, we can use dry erase markers. We can draw like areas we've searched or areas we've been at. If there's something else we need to go do, we can have a clear view of that. Also underneath here, where we just keep all of some of our spare maps of parks and bigger areas, as well as phone books, ERG books, accountability boards, pens, papers, extra charger cords, pieces like that. Underneath our desk, we have some safety equipment. We have our safety traffic vests, safety glasses down here, more nitrile gloves. We have some wipes. We have a couple of our emergency response binders as well. A lot of this is all getting transferred over to our iPad system, which we do have one back here. On that iPad, we have things like our crash recovery system, so it helps gives information of what we can do at vehicle accidents, as well as a lot of our emergency response plans are getting put on there. We have a program, I'm Responding, which we can use to map and tell us, where we have to go to actually get to the scene. And it's got a lot of great information for us. We have them all built on cell networks right now, so that we can communicate and use them no matter where we are in the field. Here we are in the front of 121, and as you can see, sitting in the captain's seat, has a SCBA tank in it, just like all the 6 spots in the back. In here we have a second iPad, so this way as we're driving to the scene, the captain can be looking and helping with the driver if he needs directions. Behind here we also have just some siren controls, as well as we have our floodlight or our spotlight. And then getting up above in the center console here, we have just standard radio. We have our sirens and our PA mic system, as well as on the far side here we have our directionals. The beaded chain in the center here, this is the air horn system. And then getting down the center, we have our VHF radio. It's your standard air conditioning controls, your cab heat, that kind of stuff. And then there's a screen on either side, one here and one right here. These are Vista screens. From this system, we can control all the lights. We can control the generator. This truck is equipped with a backup camera, so even if you're not reversing, you can click the button to actually check. It also has a right camera, as that is the blind side for the driver. So as soon as you turn the right blinker on, that kicks in automatically so the driver can see if there's anyone who's trying to sneak up beside you. Like I said, you can control pretty much majority of the truck operation in here for scene lighting. You can also switch it to high idle for when you're parked and at the scene. On the screen in the center of the screen, kind of near the top, there's a little says E1 Crew Guard. That's a little area there where as soon as someone sits down in a seat, you can see it turns red. That means there's someone seated there, but they don't have a seatbelt on. And then once I buckle up here, it automatically turns green, knowing, okay, that person has been buckled, that person's good to go. Now behind us, right between the driver and the captain, we have 2 compartments. One, we have our maps binder, as well as another emergency response guidebook. The maps, we have certain things like for situations like school lockdowns and other pertinent information that we may need. It's just quick, easy access for us. The other compartment, it's got some gloves, pens, some spare pieces right now. Guaranteed that will fill up pretty quick as we get more information and we need places to store it. Okay, now here we're at the very front of the truck, where we have 3 storage compartments along the front. Inside, we have items. It's got a simple tow chain hooks. This one's got a tow strap, as well as some booster cables. And then our last one we have right now is still empty at the moment. As you can see, lots of extra storage right now available for us still. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in, listening to another one of our episodes as we go over the fire trucks, and I hope you guys stay tuned for another one to follow shortly.